Hey there, welcome to your topic for this week. Let's discuss the self in Western and Eastern thought. Filipinos unconsciously have an internal battle. This is caused by the different influences from their Eastern and Western self, where East is attributed to Asia and West is attributed to Europe and North America. This Eastern versus Western dichotomy creates different perceptions of the self. The dilemma is in which culture an individual should adopt. There are different religious beliefs and political philosophies that influence an individual's perspective of self. In our Eastern self, we have four. Let's start with Confucianism. With the primary objective of a harmonious social life, an individual's identity and self concept become interwoven with the identity and status of his or her community or culture. Thus, an individual shares its pride and failures. Confucian society creates a subdued self, as an individual represses its needs for the good of many. In effect, this creates a hierarchy that maintains order and balance in society. Next, we have Taoism, which focuses on the belief that through an understanding of natural laws, an individual can be one with the Tao by living in accordance with nature, which includes cosmos and the universe. An individual is expected to adapt in all of nature's transformation and changes. This is the way to eternal life. Next, we have Buddhism. In summary, its belief is centered in the ability of the individual to attain nirvana, or the liberation from the suffering caused by human centered needs. This is achieved from breaking from the attachments an individual has with the world. Hinduism is regarded as the attainment of liberation in the identification of the spiritual essence of all individual human beings, which is called Atman, and the spiritual essence of the universe, which is called Brahman. It is also important to mention that in Filipino psychology, we have the concept of kapwa, a recognition of shared identity or an inner self shared with others. We have two levels or modes of social interaction, which are ibang tao or outsider and hindi ibang tao or one of us. This concept strengthens our identity that leans toward collectivism. Contrary to that, the Western self focuses on the individual and its needs, thus becoming purely egoistic. Western culture relies heavily on the acquisition of material things. It is obsessed with being successful, and they see hard work as an essential factor for wealth. Given these factors, the Western idea of the self is built based on the social constructs that surround an individual. Self is an interpersonal unit that takes form in communication and the making it has with others. Continuous acquisition of substance through semantic or the logic behind the communication, syntactic or the rules of language, and pragmatic, how language is used to communicate. The difference between individualism and collectivism. So, individualism, people are autonomous and independent from their in groups. They give priority to their personal goals versus the goals of their in groups. They behave on the basis of attitudes rather than norms. In collectivism, people are interdependent within their in groups. They give priority to the goals of their in groups. In groups primarily shape their behavior and they behave in a communal way. And lastly, they are concerned in maintaining relationships with others. Despite these differences, both approaches have similarities. First is the belief in a higher being who guides humanity, and in addition, both approaches share the concept that a deeper understanding of reality is possible. Congratulations, you've reached the end of your lesson. I hope by now you get to explain the concept of self as found in Asian thought, choose a representation from the Filipino self, and differentiate the concept of self according to Western and Eastern perspectives. Dagang salamat and stay safe.